Hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to already the 5th race of the Grand Prix Classics Season 5 Championship, hosted by Semi-Slick Racing community on Discord, which you can find a link either in the description if you're watching on YouTube or in the chat if you're watching live on Twitch. My name is Phoenix and I will be taking you through this race today. And it is gonna mark, actually, a very interesting race. Now, I've heard some inside stories, for one. There's a couple of things I want to discuss, a lot actually. I should have taken more than 15 minutes, but here we go. First of all, we're of course more than halfway through the season now. We're going. And well, let's first look at the standings, because a lot has happened. Donska, of course, well on top, 60 points. He gets 15 points for a victory. The fact that I've been 4 races, you might think, well, that means he's won everything. Oh, it is a very impressive flip. That's very interesting. That's weird. The game is not supposed to do that, but collisions in this game are occasionally very volatile, let's say, but thankfully it's just practice. Yeah, Donska, of course, the man you see in the background also, in the lead. He has won 3 races, gotten fastest lap, I think also in 3 races, and finished second in Imola, where his teammates, the Crow one, who's third, separated by Gerald Smith, one of the Benettons, and Dustin, the other Benetton, is in P4. Now, what is interesting is that I learned today from an insider, Dustin specifically, who also hosts all of this, is very aware of everything that's going on, that apparently the Ligier boys have found a setup trick. Keep that in mind, put a pin in that. I will come back to that. I first want to go through here, but the setup trick, I'll explain to you what that means later and what the implications are. Randus in the Williams has done very impressively at the start of the season. Before we had any races, I didn't expect as much as he has been showing. So he's really been showing up very well. Statue also has had great performances. P6 is underselling it. Michael and Nacho, the Sauber boys, in 7th and 8th. We've got Silver, the Williams, in 9th, and Cavallor, the last Ferrari, in 10th. Very interesting to see that top 10 spots are taken by 5 teams. Really shows how competitive the season really is for the teams as well. Then we have a reserve driver in a bow who got 6 points and is in 11th place. Max Manfred is 12th. Then if we go to the next page, a couple more drivers ride or die. HGM, Nolsey, also a reserve driver. I feel like HGM, I feel like he's actually done quite well, considering how competitive the field is. 4 points is actually nothing to sneeze at. Nolsey has more pace. I don't think he's here today, unfortunately. So hopefully we see him again and he can add to those 4 points. Maybe he could reach the double digits. We've got Mario JJ. A couple of these people will not be expecting today. I'll walk you through who will be sitting where in a bit as well. Yeah, a lot of these people not driving, unfortunately, today. And there's an extra page. A lot of reserve drivers, as you see, as well. A new name, Azam, who we are expecting today to drive. Haven't seen him yet. Has he joined since I started? No. So hopefully he will join today. Team standings, let's look at those as well. Ligier, of course, on top. 100 points exactly on their name, behind their name right now. Benetton, 19 points behind. It is a big gap, but it's not unbeatable if they have a very good race, and Ligier an unfortunate one. And there's an enormous gap between the Benettons and the Williams. Williams is 44 points for Williams, Sauber 39, Ferrari 38. That is a proper battle for 3rd place in the team standings. Then behind that, another big gap to Jordan. Then we've got McLaren, Minardi, Parmalat, Tyrrell, and Simtek. For all of those teams, it's true that any result, any good point haul matters. The Jordans 10 points ahead of the Tyrrell, the Simtek. They've got a very good shot at 6th, but if Tyrrell or Simtek even have one good race, they can easily turn around. So that's all of that. Before we get to the real interesting things, I of course want to make you aware that this is part of a calendar. It is a whole season, and today we are on the 5th race, the Portuguese Grand Prix. It's the 30th of March, if you weren't aware. We've already had 4 races. We've hit the halfway mark with the standings, as you saw earlier. But they might turn around, because there has been drama. Not bad drama, nice drama, I think. Because these cars, this game, let me see if I can find, yeah, the Crow. He's one of the Leger drivers. Now this car is exactly the same as the other cars you just saw. It is literally just a different livery. So in principle, these cars should be the same. That means that, of course, the drivers really make the difference, right? Now, it is not entirely a coincidence that certain teams are better than others, because people that are fairly good in the community tend to gravitate to other people that are very good and try to really make their team the strongest. That's one thing. But there has been a little bit of trickery, a little bit of completely legal and allowed setup trickery. The Leger teams, the Crow and Domska, have found something. Now, what they have found, I am not privy to. I have not been told. But the story goes that they, since the start of the season, were aware of a setup trick. Maybe it's a low floor, maybe it's a rake that they could add, a specific bump setting for springs. Maybe it's, I don't know, it's very mysterious. Apparently it had to do with corner exits, or cornering speed and corner exits. So I'm thinking maybe it's rake, something like that. But they found that and no other team was aware. That has meant that the DJ team has had a fairly big advantage. Now, the fact that I know about this, I haven't spoken to the DJ team personally, but other teams have, of course, and they've told me there is awareness now that there is something in the setup, and every team will be hunting for it if they are serious about where they stand. And I expect the top 5 teams. I expect not just who is second in the championship, Gerald Schmid. I don't just expect him to be looking, or Dustin, his teammate. I also expect the Williamses. Randers is a great pace. I expect him to be looking for it and level that playing field. I expect the Ferraris and the Saubers to be looking for it, because, well, they're in a very close fight for the championship. Why would you not? And any of the lower teams, if they are interested in scoring that 6th place, as we saw, which is very much up for grabs, they'll be looking for it as well. So it started a little bit of an arms race, and today it's very possible that we're going to see a completely different picture from what we've seen in the past few races. And this race in particular is very interesting, because we are expecting, most races we've seen so far, I think all of them, with the exception of Imola, because it was a red race, all of the races so far have been a one-stopper. They drive for about half the race, go in, they change their tires and refuel, which you have to do in these cars, and then they go out and finish the race. That has been a very popular strategy. It's been the best strategy, but today I've heard that the tire wear is so severe that there might very well be a 2-stop on a only 41 lap race, which I believe we're expecting it to last about an hour. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little bit different. But we've also seen, well, I've seen, this is way back in the law, last season at Indianapolis. This man we're looking at right now, Gerald Smith, won that race purely because he did a different strategy than everyone else. He was on a one-stopper, where other people were on a two-stopper. As a result, he did get caught up by the end of the race, but his gap was so big and his pace so consistent and his tires well preserved that he managed to bring home that victory. So absolutely, for me, this is the man to watch today. See if he can repeat such a performance. Of course, look at the Ligier cars if they are still just as dominant as they have been. If their strategy, if their trickery hasn't been found out. So I've talked a lot about Donska and the Crow, of course. Donska very dominant. The Crow has also won a race, of course, Imola. Very impressive performance from him. He was just simply better in the rain. Also reminds me of something. There's two things that happened in the last two races, right? There's three things. We'll get to the third thing. One of them was that during Imola, I was completely clueless of what was going on because the tires do not show up correctly. That's the third thing. But also because at the start of the race, some people were on slicks. They just started the race on slicks. Because they thought it would be better. Ligier team did that, the Crow and Donska. And of course they brought home a 1-2. The Crow won that very nicely. So, definitely did work. The wet tires have always been a little bit of a difficult thing for Automobilista. It's been difficult to balance. The developer, Razer, has done several attempts to balance it, and they've balanced it again since. But what they've also done, and the man is not here, I can't congratulate him with this. What they've also done is last race, Maserati AC. Go rewatch the race. Go rewatch that moment in particular, where Maserati went into the pits and then they came out of the pits and they went into the pits again. The reason was indeed that his car didn't refuel. And it happened twice in a row because you have to change presets and you have to hope that the second preset. He did change preset, but you have to hope that the second preset is also not bugged. It was bugged. That happens. And yeah, he was forced to retire, unfortunately. That bug has been fixed. That's what they say. We should not see any drivers retire because their car has been refueled. So there's two bugs that we have seen that have been fixed. And I'm starting to feel like maybe Razor's watching. I don't know if they are. I have no evidence. But they might be. I think the chance is maybe 10%. So if it is a 10% chance, I would like to give a plea. If we look at this calendar, the Belgian Grand Prix is on the 18th of May. It's expected to be, well, it's going to be a wet race. We're going to see the wet tires again. I would like to urge Ryder, if you are watching this, if anyone in the team is watching this, please, before the 18th of May, could you update the game and fix the bug where I can't see, as a broadcaster, where I can't see the tires correctly. It will show up as slicks when they are wets, or more often than not, they will show up as intermediate or wets when they are actually on slicks. I would like to know what they are on. So, if anybody of Ryza is watching, if any of the devs are here, that's my plea. I would be so happy. Thank you very much. You will get like a big shout out if it happens before that race, and I will shamelessly promote this game everywhere I go. That's a promise. Okay, I've done everything I want to do before we get to qualifying. Well, most of everything, but qualifying will quickly go through some other drivers that are here today. Haven't talked about so much yet. I feel like somebody has left. Hopefully they return. Yeah, we've got a couple of course, the high rollers. We've got the Saubers Nacho. One of the Saubers with Michael. Michael's been very impressive this season. Nacho has also shown very good pace. There's a good reason they are so close together on the standings. There is a small thing with Michael that his internet seems to have a little bit of lag in it. As a result, last race where there seemed to be an incident where Michael spun around another driver or hit another driver. That was true on everybody else's screen, but not on Michael's screen. As a result, he has not been penalized. There were no penalties last race. But it can be a bit of a hazard if you are driving the way you think you should. If you are braking before hitting someone, but on another screen, you do hit someone. If that happens multiple times, then there is a risk of the organizer saying, look, your internet is just a little bit of a hazard. We can't have you on the track. Yeah, that would be unfortunate. But hopefully we'll not have any more incidents like that in the future. In that case, of course, no harm, no foul. Anybody else still driving? Ignore that car spinning around. Yeah, we've got Statue, one of the Ferraris. Statue has had very impressive performances. I remember in the first race at Interlagos, he fell back extremely far. Was struggling from the start. I think it was a couple of incidents, but he fought himself all the way back up to the field. Actually drove a nearly perfect race after what was a very rough start. Yeah, I think there's one more man finishing, and then we're ready to go. So yeah, that's the practice session. Branda's fastest in that. Of course, that means nothing. It is practice, but very interesting to see. And we're going to look who is first out of the pits. I think it's a Ferrari. Who's, yes, Statue. All right, first person out of the pits I will always follow. We'll go on roof cam to watch them drive the lap. We'll take ourselves through a lap of the Estoril circuit, who I've completely ignored, which I've completely ignored so far. It is in Portugal. That's all I know about it. It's a very, very tricky track. The walls are also pretty close. If there is ever going to be a safety car in this season, this is a very likely candidate. We haven't had any so far though, which is a testament to how relatively clean this season has been. I wouldn't say full clean, because then people can give me 50 examples where maybe it wasn't so clean, but on the whole, there haven't been massive pileups. Which, if you've ever played a racing game, like opened a random lobby and tried to drive, then you will know that's pretty rare. Okay, so entering the start-finish straight, Statue is a very long corner at the end. You want to get that right. All of that speed you carry out of there benefits you a little extra because of how long the straight is. Through this corner, it's a fast corner. And through this corner, which is nearly flat out, might be flat out. It's probably flat in a modern car, and then you have a hard braking zone for an uphill hairpin. A little bit of acceleration for another uphill hairpin. This exit is more important. There's a little bit more length to drive through here. One corner, easy flat, no issues. Line up to the right for a heavy braking zone and another left-hand hairpin, slightly uphill this time. And a long exit. You want to be on throttle as early as you can, of course. Line up on the left again, a near hairpin. This was very tricky to exit. The curbs are pretty high, so that's very, very tricky. Through here, a big lift. It's simply not flat. Through here, oh, very tricky braking zone to the right and to the left again. And this is the long right-hander that we saw at the beginning. Oh, but he's overcooked it. He's stood on the throttle too early. The car wasn't turned in enough, and as a result, loses a lot of the time. Statue, what's the time gonna be? It's 16.1. And that's not going to be good enough. And we could tell just by how the car drove the last few parts. Let's look at where Gerald is going to be. For that long right-hander you can see on this camera angle. It is a very long one. It feels like it takes forever. You have to do it 41 times during a race. That is pretty crazy. Gerald's second, actually Statue. I mean, I think he made a pretty big mistake at the end there, but it's not showing up on the standing so far. see what this teammate is doing. Well, actually, I want to see what Dustin is doing right now. I don't think he's fully going for it. The Crow, I think, is maybe fully going for it. He's actually going to finish the lap in a moment. Where is he gonna be? And he's on top of the timing sheets. 2/10 ahead of Statue. This is not a big gap. Donska has set a banker. I don't think that's fully representative. We've got HCM also driving. Let's see where they are. Last corner. So very soon we'll see a time from them. HCM has had a very interesting up and down season, but I think he's on the up. I think he's got good chances to score points. Well, in any race, honestly. I think behind the Ferraris, the Williamses and the Sauber, there's plenty of room for many people. Oh, as he does make a mistake there. And those mistakes are very easily and quickly made. And that sends him back. His teammate Max Manfred also. I feel like both the Jordans are feeling fairly happy because they are 6th in the standings. They're beating the teams that they need to. And will have a chance today to extend that gap. Of course, because we only have 5 top teams and we have in fact 12 points paying positions. 15 for the winner, 12 for the second place, and then 10, 9, 8 all the way down to 12th place. Because it is like that. A non-top team, one of the non-top 5 teams, will score points. That's guaranteed. Dustin has improved his time ahead of Statue, but the gap is small, and the gap to the Crow is pretty big. Now, Domska, I assume, is improving. One has to assume. Ooh, a little bit of lockup on the right there. And he is struggling a little bit. You can see by the corrections on the tires. We go in the cockpit. You can see his wheel movements. It seems smooth through here on exit. Very nicely able to keep turning in. Hoping for him. Ooh, and that's a little bit wide. It's not going to be the best exit. Through there, a little bit of braking as well. This is a tricky car to drive around here. That much is obvious. Donka is missing a few apexes. Ooh, and they all seem to really struggle on the last corner. It feels like it is a very, very late apex. But you cannot see the apex coming. He improves to 6th place. Ooh, and that's our leader in the championship, who has been so dominant until now, not able to put a competitive lap together today. I feel like, no, Geralt is still pushing. Geralt is gonna try to join the top 3, which is led now by Statue. That is a Ferrari in the top position. Very impressive, and completely snuck up on me. Statue currently in P1. Dustin's gonna challenge that, hopefully. Geralt should be challenging that in a moment as well. Keep watching him trackside. And the biggest surprise so far, I really think Dustin will improve. We'll look at him after Geralt finishes his lap, but it seems like Domska isn't immune to having a bad track. Potentially. Geralt across the line, it is an improvement. Not by enough for a position though. What's Domska gonna do? Out of the last corner. Is it gonna be faster? Nacho also improves ahead of Randers. Domska now 7th. Is he going to stay there? He does. That was not an improvement at all. That's looking like, relatively speaking, a disaster. Because you would absolutely expect Domska to... Well, by this point, he feels like the Max Verstappen of the season. 2023 Max Verstappen to be precise. where he is basically unbeatable, bar some really strange conditions that his teammate is maybe simply slightly better at. It's like the Baku of the season. But yeah, it seems like Domska's not going to dominate today. That means it is absolutely anyone's game today. But with Statue on pole, he does have a good gap on pole as well. He seems to be with a big advantage, and I think he's just improved this time as well. Some very competitive racing today, or qualifying. We haven't even started the race yet. Domska crossed the line. It's going to be an improvement of position as well, but crucially, that is P4. Ew. That's only P4. Randers improves past Nacho. It's not better than that. Cavalo, the teammate of Statue, have they found something for today? Cavalo through the last corner. We still have 5 minutes left, so it's still... I mean, anybody could improve. Statue, maybe even. Cavalo gonna do it. Is he gonna do it? He doesn't improve his time. Does seem to be we have 2 grids, essentially. Statue, of course, on top. The Crow has now improved. Very close to Statue, but not past. Not so much lonely, lofty heights for Statue, but people are struggling to match that time. Dustin's gonna give it another go. Domska will be, I think, slightly happier to be in P4, but not satisfied. Absolutely not satisfied. And he will be pushing again. I think he's setting up a lap. Looks like he is setting up a brand new lap. If this is a... We see... we saw a Williams... Is that a Williams? I forgot. It's a McLaren. Excuse me. That's a McLaren. Spinning out to the back. Struggling with that last corner. Domska has been improved upon. Nacho is past him. Hello, Nacho. That is somewhat unexpected. Sauber's, of course, competitive in the season, but quite a bit behind Williams. Nacho is going to try and change that. His teammate Michael is quite far back. A bit further than maybe we would have expected. Yeah, Nacho currently in P4 ahead of Domska. Dustin has started a new lap, has not improved on his previous lap. The Crow, I think, still fairly early in this lap. I'm not quite... I mean, this is one of those tracks that some people will have seen occasionally. But we don't see this in F1. I don't think many sims have this track, so it's hard to be familiar with. I have driven it before, I don't think for a league race. So it's quite unfamiliar. Domska, though, what is familiar is Domska, well, at least in the top 3. But it's not good enough. I don't think he thinks that's good enough. Or he really doesn't like this track and he's happy to just be somewhere near the top, I guess. It's one of the two. Dustin gonna try and improve again. About to go across the line that looked like a very solid last corner. Is it gonna be an improvement? It doesn't appear to be. P4 it is so far. Got time for one more lap. Nacho has done very well so far. P6. Head of Randers. That is... Well, Amanda's currently 8th in the standings. I think he will be very happy with that. Statue is 6th in the standings, by the way, but he's currently on pole position. Will be ecstatic gonna try for one more lap. He might need to. The Crow is also gonna try to improve. Nacho across the line. Is he gonna improve? It's a little after that line. No, not yet. He's got 2 more shots at most. Whereas Randers? Randers currently in P7. Has been extremely strong all season. Doesn't seem to be too strong today. That's really good for the Saubers because, of course, Nacho is in 6th. And Michael is currently in P8. Those two together, of course, will score a lot more points than Williams. I think that's enough to overtake the team, the Williams team. Silver currently in 11th, teammate of Randers. Which you don't get any points for qualifying, so it is a bit premature. But that's all we got right now. I think it's a decent indication of where people will be. Randers across the line. Is it going to be an improvement? Doesn't look like it. No time improved. Michael across the line hasn't improved either. He's got 1 more shot each of them. Statue starts his final lap. Where is the Crow though? Oh, I think the Crow is on his final lap. He will not be reaching the start-finish line in time. He will not make it through the last corner in 15 seconds. No chance. So the Crow on his last attempt at that pole position. Statue is simply too fast for him so far, it seems. Through the last corner though, the timer has ticked out. Oh, and it goes on the grass and it's over. The Crow is in the wall and is going to have to settle for P2. There will be some flags, but people can't ignore that, thankfully. It is sim racing, so there's no physical danger. Then Domska still driving. Gerald Smith is right behind him, I think. Physically. The Statue is rounding last few corners, who is not going to improve his time. That does leave him vulnerable. Domska may have been struggling this session so far, but it is still Domska. He has shown what he's worth this season. He's been incredible, especially over a race pace. But in qualifying also, he's had some very strong performances. Today, it's gonna take a little bit more effort, a little bit more trying. Is he gonna improve enough to beat Statue across the line? It's not an improvement at all. And Gerald, I'm not sure if he improves. Gerald also doesn't improve. It's P4 for him. Nacho in P5, very impressive. Dustin in 6th place. Michael in 7th. Puts him ahead of Randers, actually. We'll be very happy with that. I don't think we have any penalties. No, very good. Good to check. Then we've got Cavalo. JJ will also be very happy. The Minardi team set in P10. We've got Silver. We've got HTM for the Jordans. And Ride or Die in 13th. Max Manfred in 14th. And PC Finch in P15. Best lap being a 15.5. Very, very quick. The Crow close. Domska a decent way away. Alright, there will be a small break. So do make sure to get your snacks quickly. Saying 2 minutes and some of that has already passed. I'll quickly go through exactly who do we have here today. But I don't think it will be too necessary. I think we've talked through most of that already. And there are no reserve drivers, which makes it slightly easier. Starting grid then. It's roughly what it will look like. I think this is correct. No, it's not. Okay, you have to mirror it. Statue is on the right side. He is on the inside for the first corner. I think that's not a racing line though, so it might be slightly harder to get away correctly. the Crow and Domska Ligiers next to each other. Gerald Smith ahead of Dustin in 4th and 6th, those two. They've got Nacho ahead of his teammate, 5th and 7th. 7th for Michael, of course. Randers in the Williams. A bit further back than what we used from him. Used to from him. But we'll likely have an exciting race if he's able to move forward a bit. Cavallo in the Ferrari in P9. JJ and Manani in P10 ahead of the Williams of Silver. Only top 10 driver to not qualify in the top 10 today. We do have all of our top 10 drivers, so that's very exciting. HGM in the Jordan is in P12. Then we've got Ride or Die, Max Manfred and PC finish the last 3 on the grid. We're trying their best to scrape some points and or maybe just move forwards on pace. Not excluded. We have a small minute, I think, before we start. So it's about time to return to your PC from the snacks. The start will be quick. It will be exciting. There will be no formation lap. And let's see, place your bets on who's going to win as well. Is Domska going to take another win? It's going to be Statue. It's going to be Crow. We're going to find it very soon. We're about to start. The lights are out and the drivers go. Now, I think it's a very good start from the Crow. Let's go on his roof. He's around the outside. But it's a difficult corner to actually do anything. Oh, he does it though. Oh, no, he goes on the grass. The Crow, massive mistake at the start. He's on the gravel. It's a little bit comedic, but yeah, there we go. Nacho currently in P4. Right behind Gerald. Domska is in P2. Chasing down Statue, who has converted this pole position into a fairly decent start. So HGM has fallen back quite a bit, currently behind the Crow, who has fallen all the way back to 14th. Big disaster from him, but there's a lot of things going on right now. Randers has moved up to 6th place from 8th place. He's overtaken one man in that. JJ also moved up. Michael has lost a couple of positions. Ride or Die currently in P9 all the way from 13th. Very, very impressive start from him. Let's quickly look on board from Dustin, who's behind his teammate. Very close to him though. Is he going to try and move? Because as much as they are teammates, this is not Formula 1, there's no team orders. If he's faster, he will probably go by. Although they have really played very nicely with each other. He's trying to defend the inside actually from a Nacho, who is charging up the field. Nacho all the way in P4, starting from P5. He's actually lost the position to Dustin earlier, so he's just regained his position. And of course with the Crow losing a lot of space, a lot of time, he's kind of where he should be. Brandon has gained a position to Michael, who has lost quite a bit. JJ nicely in between from 10th place, ahead of Cavallo. Cavallo lost a bunch of positions as well. Max Manfred went from nearly last to now in the points at P12. We'll be happy with that as well. And we can see a little bit of a gap develop from JJ to Randers. And you see Dustin is looking for a move on Nacho. Now, Nacho is not his teammate, of course, so we'll be much happier to try and overtake Nacho. Trying to really put the power down, but it's difficult around that corner. I don't think he's nailed it. Nacho, though, has done a very good job, and I feel like he's got lower downforce, because he is gaining very fast on Gerald. He's going to have to back out a little bit. Yeah, he's very close behind there. Dustin caught all the way back up. Very exciting between these, mostly 3, but Randers is right behind there. And Michael He's now ahead of JJ. He is gonna catch back up, or try to. If there is a lot of fight. Oh, I see Dustin go for a move. Oh, it's not gonna happen immediately, but he does force Nacho into a mistake, and there it is, P4. Clever move, and now Nacho has to defend from Randers, who also wants to charge up that field. Yes, I am seeing something develop here, so we're going to look, because the lead is not safe. Statue has done an excellent job. From qualifying all the way to the start to, well, lap 3 it is already. It's going to be lap 4, still in the lead, but Domska is not going to let anybody win, except himself this season, if he can make that happen. Of course, he has already failed in Imola, but that was to his teammate. Are we finally going to see a Ferrari on top? Statue is fighting for it, but Domska is challenging him already in the early stages of the race. But it is a long race. Nacho will also be looking to go past Dustin again. Not gonna happen. He has to be early on the brakes, and you see Dustin so much later. I think we're looking at a fairly significant downforce difference between Nacho and Dustin. Dustin is a very experienced driver though. So unless it's pure pace that overpowers, he's always got some fight in him. And he's shown that. Last corner, I don't know how Domska looks against Statue out of the last corner, so let's have a look. Statue with a very good exit, and if he can do that every single lap, that's really gonna help him. We do have to, of course, keep in mind we might be looking at a 2-stop today, so strategically it's gonna be important to stop at the right time, and likely you want to be looking at overcuts then, not undercuts. As in stay out longer than your opponent, because the car will lose weight when when refueling is not a factor. Then, of course, it's the undercut, because the tires will just be better at the start of your stint. But here the car continuously through its stint loses weight. It's getting slightly faster and faster every time. The tires will wear though. And if they go off a cliff, then you will notice it. It will be much more apparent than the loss of fuel. These two are neck to tail. There is genuinely no difference. It seems like Domska has better pace as a result. Oh, but he's not nailing that last corner. And every single time, Statue with what seems to be a much better line, is driving away. So Domska is either going to have to copy that line and make a pass through the slipstream. Of course, no DRS on these cars. And I think we're modeling the 1995 season. Of course, DRS wasn't invented yet. It's just going to have to be pure slipstream, better lines, all that old school stuff. But Randers actually has lost a position to Michael while we're looking at the lead. Michael well and truly back into this. Quickly looking at the Crow, also well back into the points. Silver in P11, JJ still in P8. Will be buzzing to be there. Because I see something has happened here. Is Geralt? Geralt has dropped back a lot. What happened to Geralt? I think he's made a mistake, obviously. Yeah, all the way back to 7th place. Domska very close to Statue again. We're seeing the same thing. Statue a little bit wider through that corner. Has a better exit as a result and just drives away every single lap. No move to be made yet, but There are more overtaking opportunities on this track, even though they are tough. They are difficult. Somebody has left the race. I think it is Ride or Die. Fortunately, there was no ride today. He has not. May have had an incident, may have had a crash. Fortunately, not with us anymore, not racing. Ooh, Domska's looking at the outside. I was not getting too excited because normally that doesn't work to do it like that. But he has set himself up for a move here. And on the inside, late on the brakes. Is he going to stop the car in time? He does. That's Domska in the lead. He doesn't have the best exit though. Is Tatsu going to go for it? No, not there. That's way too risky of a corner to try anything. But he might be slightly annoyed. We do know he has this better line out of here. Is it gonna help him through the last corner? Oh, he's got a... You can now see Domska's not driving away. Statue does genuinely have a better line. He's faster. He's looking on the outside. Is he gonna go past again? Domska defending. Ooh, late on the brakes, these two, but they leave each other alive. The Statue is back in the lead. Very, very briefly, Domska got to taste another victory, but it is Statue who has retaken that spot in front. And while we were looking at that, Nacho was taking P3. Nacho's on the podium. It's another very, a little bit of an upset. Nacho has been quite strong over the race that he's driven. But P3 in the season is Neil. Of course, we're not at the end of the race yet. The only position that matters is the one at the end of lap 41. He's currently sitting in P3. And he's got a decent gap to Dustin. So he's not likely to lose it yet. And look at Statue just running away. There's no way Domska's going to have a chance into turn 1. And that is going to help Statue throughout this entire race. He's got a different setup. He's got a different line through the last corner. And it's going to serve him well. So we've got Dustin in P4 currently. We've got Michael in P5. Where is the Crow currently? 7th? Okay. Moving up. Very good. Randy's in P6. Gerald has dropped all the way back to P8. Still there, but has caught up to the Crow ahead. They go. Little way of a little battle here. It's still a big battle for the lead though. Domska is still fighting for it. I mean, there's a good chance that Domska will take it by pit stops, but of course, that's a lame way to win a race. We want to do it on track. We want to overtake on track. We want to stay ahead. But Statue just has that last corner down to an art. Domska is going to have to concede a decent amount of time every time. He will gain that back rather quickly after. He does get it very close every single lap. Oh, he hits that curb a little bit though. Very full curbs, so even small touches like that can upset your car. You're left correcting it instead of driving it to its optimal pace. It looks like Statue is bringing a very, very unexpected, but it's a very nice surprise. Great performance today. Let's not forget Domska, leader in the season, absolutely dominant so far. Say absolutely, with the exception of a rain-filled Imola race that his teammate managed to bring home very nicely. Today, though, it's just not the Domska we're used to seeing. Statue is really showing what it's worth. And maybe we're seeing here the effect of the leak of the setup changes that we heard of. The setups that gave the Ligier team such a big advantage, maybe. I'm not sure how big the advantage was, but it's looking like maybe Statue found it. Maybe Statue is making the difference as a driver as a result. Because he is very, very fast today. Now, I don't know what this trick is. I can speculate on what it could be. I know that in certain cars, changing the bump to be stiff helps a lot. Or adding rake, removing rake. Rake is when your the front of your car is lower than the rear. Creates a certain aero effect where your car is sucked to the ground. That could very well be it, because it is all about cornering where the Ligier cars were so strong. But as you can see, it's not like the Ligier cars are, well, Domska at least. It's not like Domska is super dominant in corners. So I think we're looking at the Sauber team. Michael also making moves on Dustin here. We're looking at the Sauber team. Maybe they found something. Maybe Ferrari's found something as well. The Crow also very close behind Randers. There's a couple of teams that have really moved up over, what was it, a 3-week break? It was supposed to be with a Monaco Grand Prix that didn't go on because 4 people signed up. I think the rest were like, it's not for the championship, I'm gonna go do something else. Take a little bit of a break, because it's long is a big word, but it is 8 races. So a break is sometimes very nice. Michael losing a little touch a little bit though. People want to know, is it gonna be straights where he really catches? He uses that whole curb, despite how tall it is. Dustin has very high wings, got a lot of downforce, a lot of drag, and I think he might start to regret that throughout the race, because Michael is right there. Ooh, around the outside Michael goes. Oh, and Dustin goes back through. Simply able to carry more speed through that corner. Oh, what a fight these two are having. Very exciting. See, it struggle on the curbs to accelerate, but keeping the car nicely under control, that's the most important part. Trying to get good traction through here, and what I want to note is the fighting of the two leaders has not ceased. Domska is still 3/10 behind and has been the whole time. He's falling back a little bit now, preparing for the last corner. No, Statue is very, very strong out of there. And again, looks like he's going to be driving away instead of being caught by the slipstream. Lap 14, Statue still uncontested in the lead. Dustin and Michael fighting again, and Michael is actually past this time. And it doesn't look like Dustin's going to be able to challenge it. The high downforce setup for Dustin will benefit him in this section. The next straight will be tough, but then braking for... Oh, that's a big mistake for Michael, actually. Dustin's going to have a chance here. He's going to have more drag, but he's going to have the position to be late on the brakes here and shoot straight past. Is he going to do that? Was from the outside, late on the brakes. Michael around the outside. Is he holding on? Oh, he's going very, very wide. And I think that's Dustin past. And also the Crow is right there. Is he gonna go past Michael? Oh, Michael closes the door. These three are very close together. There is not much in between here. Crow's gonna have to hold back. Michael's fast on the straight, but struggling through the corners a little bit. Or you can see him squirm. See the car struggle. I think his tires might be giving up. Or he's actually letting the Crow go. And I think Michael's going into the pits. And that is the first stop of the race, I think. Of the major contenders. Michael is in. Nacho is also in. They've both decided to stop at the same time. They do have their own pit boxes, so no harm done there. Nacho and Michael, the Sauber cars, first two into the pits. So we might have been looking at, and I do need to keep this in mind, we might be looking at different strategies. And I feel like the reason Dustin was struggling is because he's on a one stop, maybe. Oh, the Crow on the out. Domska on the outside. Oh, there's a crash. Domska went around the outside. It's very hard to tell who was in the wrong there. Domska went around the outside and got hit by a statue. It could be a classic 2021 Silverstone there, but could also be the opposite. It could just be that Domska didn't leave enough space. He is still driving though. I don't think he has any damage. I hope for his sake that he doesn't have any damage. He does have the pressure from Dustin, however. It kind of came out of nowhere. Domska making the move and then turning in maybe too harshly. Not leaving enough space. The stewards will be looking at that. It could just be a racing incident. But it's very unfortunate for Domska. He's now going to have to face the pressure from Dustin. Although the pressure isn't too strong right now. It's still a long race though. Domska is not out of it yet. He could still very, very easily win this race. And making it sound like it's easy to win the race. It's not. Also, the Crow is right there. Cavalo also in the pits. Crow's going to try it around the outside. Does have good grip through the corners though. Oh, but he has such a good action. Oh, there's a crash! There's a crash! And I feel more confident about what happened there. Dustin touched the Crow, and as a result, the Crow's fallen way back again. Of course, Dustin can't just park the car. So yeah, you're gonna have to keep going with Das going to the stewards. That's two incidents in a very short time, both involving a spinning Ligier and not even the same one twice. That is crazy. Randers on the glass a little bit. That's unnecessary. Also around Dustin, looking outside, no inside. He's got high downforce around the inside, through the inside. Then late on the brakes, and that is him through. Oh, he keeps the car on the road. Very important to do that. And that is him past Dustin. So Randers, after a not so strong qualifying performance, P8 it was on the grid. Currently P2. Of course, that is with two Saubers having already stopped and two Ligers having spun. But you gotta be there when these things happen. Speaking of which, where is... Oh, Domska's in the lead because Statue... I think Statue has stopped. It looks like Statue has stopped for his first new set of tires and a full tank of fuel. It's going for a two-stop, it seems. If you continue the logic, we'll be stopping at 34. That would be a bit late, so probably we'll see another stop around 30. Statue currently in P7. But he is still fighting for that lead, and Domska is currently in the lead. And Dustin is also stopping. Ooh, that is very interesting. I thought he might be on a two-stop. Oh, sorry, on a one-stop earlier, but he does appear to be maybe on a two-stop. It's very early to stop if you're doing a one-stop, I think. It's going to be Dustin. He pulls back behind Michael. Is he... he's moving. Cavalo, is he going to go past? Well, I think it's going to be close. It's okay, it's not close. Dustin is still ahead of Cavalo. That's also where he was earlier. Cavalo has absolutely benefited though from stopping early. I think he's a lot closer than he would have been otherwise. Of course, a lot happened at the front. I think that's the biggest reason Cavalo is now a lot closer. So he's put himself back into the race. That is a very good job from him. Michael and Nacho, of course, have also stopped, and they are... Nacho especially is miles ahead of Dustin. P5 currently. No, in fact... Oh, I've been asleep because Statue is behind Nacho. So if everybody's doing a 2-stop, Nacho is in the virtual lead. But we are on lap 18. Lap 20 or 21 will be the halfway point. I don't think Domska's on a 2-stop. I don't think Randers is on a 2-stop. Geralt? No. The Crow? Absolutely not. The top 4, I think they're all on a 1-stop. So we're going to see 2 strategies. Nacho currently only 14 seconds behind, and he is gaining every single second. You can just see it on the timing screen. I saw the number 14 earlier. That's now a 13. Oh, you see Domska is struggling. Now, this is the crisis for him. He's going to have to manage this car for another 2 laps, preferably. But it's a tricky one to drive. And it's going to get worse and worse before he stops. If he stops now, at the end of the race, his tyres will be absolutely shot. Tyre wear is very strong. He goes for another lap. So keep this number behind Nacho, this 13.8, 13.7. Keep an eye on that. That's going to keep decreasing. It's not entirely accurate. Because, well, I don't think there's any racing game in existence that does these deltas accurately. But it will go up and down a little bit. What is true is that Nacho is catching, and Nacho will be ahead of Domska after Domska's stop. Same goes for Randers, who's 5 seconds behind Domska. Gerald Smith is gonna have a rude awakening after he stops. Going to emerge probably behind Cavalo. And everybody behind the Crow has stopped. The Crow also hasn't stopped, of course, but he has had a very rough race. And it's going to be caught by Nacho, actually, quite soon. Going to be a full pit stop behind. JJ is in the pits now. He's going for a 1-stop, I think. I think everybody that stops after this is on a 1-stop. Silva, I think, has also stopped. I'm not quite sure what the people in the bottom are doing. Unfortunately, I wish if Rice is watching. It would be nice to be able to see how many times someone has stopped. Even better if you could tell me when. Randers is stopped now, though. I don't need a table for that. Randers is stopping right now. Nacho is ahead. The Crow hasn't stopped. Geralt hasn't stopped. And Domska, most importantly, has not yet stopped. He will be caught up by Randers, I think, a little bit, because it really, really looks like the tires are the limiting factor here. They slow you down more than the fuel does. But after this lap, Domska will be able to stop and make it to the end of the race just fine, or like as good as it's gonna be, but it doesn't look pretty. See the car slide around everywhere. He has to constantly correct it and tame it. Keep it with all 4 wheels on the track preferably. He's doing a good job. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, even after that incident earlier that cost him around 5 seconds. Technically not position, but he keeps going though. He keeps going. We decide it's not time yet. When I think Geralt and the Crow are both going to stop. No, just checking, because there might be an incident in the pit lane, which would be very unfortunate. But yeah, they are going for their only stop. Domska's going to keep going, and I feel like that is going to be a problem for him. He's going to emerge behind Statue for sure. Possibly behind Michael. I think behind Michael would be the worst case scenario for him. And Nacho is doing an insane job today. Currently 12 seconds behind Domska, roughly. Domska currently in P1, but the question is for how long. We're expecting Domska to be pulling into the pits right now, and if he doesn't, I'm gonna say that's a mistake. But you see, he peels off to the right, brakes for the pit lane or the pit entry. Oh, it's a tricky pit entry, especially with the tires as shot as they are. Well, I'm not sure if he stopped in time. I don't see a penalty though. It's always nice to be able to check. No penalties for speeding in the pit lane. That's gonna be Nacho through. It's gonna be Statue through. Michael is through. I think Dustin is too far away. Yeah, I think he is. Domska is already back on track, and you see that Dustin is very far back. There's a lapped car there that he's going to overtake Domska, and now he's going to start his hunt for the very realistic win. But I think it's going to have to be a case where he actually straight up overtakes at least Statue on track. It's got quite a bit of time to make up. Maybe strategic, like in tire strategy is going to be fine. But it is true that's going to be quite close. Oh, actually, that's someone off track. It's Michael. Michael's made a mistake, and actually that's Domska back into P3. Very, very costly error. Also loses the position to Dustin as a result. Michael back to P5. Driver from Austria in the Red Bull liveried Sauber. Fun fact, his teammate Nacho currently in the lead. Here we have him, also from Austria. Sauber's doing a good job today. Doing great work for their championship. But the race isn't over. Domska is going to charge. He's going to have to catch up, I think, at least a Statue to make a solid fight for the lead. Because Nacho's going to stop. He's going to pull back. But the tires are going to be excellent. He's not going to have a lot of fuel. For the early parts of the stints, for sure. He's just going to push. Domska is going to have to save his tires starting now. He cannot actually push at all. He's going to have to drive exactly like F1 drivers do today. With the tires in mind more than the drivers around sometimes even. I do see we have another retirement. We're going to have to figure out manually who it is. PC Fins with Max Manfred. Silver is still there. I think JJ is gone. Oh, JJ is retired. That's very unfortunate. Doing a decent job today. See 4 cars here, one after another. Dustin doing his one defensive move very early and then peeling back to the racing line. Michael just not close enough to make a move though. Who uses a bit too much curb that has slowed him down. I think as a result also he misses that corner a little bit. Randers has an opportunity to catch up, but he has his own problems actually in the name of Capelor. One does have to note that Capelor, P7 currently, do a very, very good job. And on the inside, Capelor is... Oh, there's a spin from Randers. I think there was a collision there. It was very hard to see. That is Randers currently in P7. I don't think Capelor's going to slow down. And not because he's Capelor, but if there's stewards, you know there will be like you know it will be looked at anyway. So sometimes it's just best to keep going. Especially because you're not always sure if there was a collision. It's not like you're in a real car and you can feel it. Ooh, Michael is looking, but he's just simply way too far away to be able to make a move. He's gonna keep looking. I'm also looking at the timings. The crow's close. I'm also looking at the timing of Domska. Ukafalo's made a mistake. Oh, he was pointing at the wall. Doing a wall inspection. Well, I think that's made up for his error. Stuart's gonna look at it that way, of course, but it does make up for his error. It's currently in P9. Assuming there wasn't a collision. I'm not even sure if there was. We have Randers still defending from the Crow. Crow not having the best of races today. And that would be very costly. I think it is costly. But not because of the person in P2 that would walk away. Gerald is in fact behind him. So they overtake, I think, Silva, who is being lapped. Gerald is behind the Crow and ahead of Crow on the standings, but Dustin at 37 points is behind him. He's gonna overtake. As it stands, he's gonna overtake in the championship. Crow is looking, he's very, very close. Randers is not safe. The Crow's on the hunt. In the slipstream, this straight is not long enough to fully benefit from that. Not gonna be a late lunch either. Oh, but you can see how much Randers is struggling. Ty is not treating him very well, even though he seems to be on a 2-stop. No, he's not. Sorry, these two are on the same strategy. The Crow and Randers, I think both are on the 1-stop. They stopped a lot later than the definitive 1-stoppers in Nacho and Statue, for example. Got a very, very nice mix of strategies here today. Oh, that's an unforced error and a half. Randers touching the grass, losing a bunch of speed, and that's the Crow on the inside. Does not need a second invitation, and there he goes. Up to P5. P5? Oh yeah, Caffalo drop back. Actually, it doesn't fully explain it. Why is it P5? I think Silva has retired. Yeah, that's not why it's P5. But Silva has retired. Michael has dropped back massively. We're currently P9 behind Caffalo. Now the nice thing is everybody will be scoring points. Everybody that finishes at least. Let's have a look at Nacho, who is stopping. There you go, excitement. This will be his last stop. It's a very short stint. He has been, I think, always been doing, all he did really was fuel for a very, very, very short stint. Keep up the pace with Domska at least, or whoever he's fighting. Of course, you don't know that ahead of the race when you're planning this. Yeah, and now he is ready to push and try to catch up to Domska. That's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure if this strategy is going to work out great. And the reason is, honestly, this car ahead. Dustin is a physical object on track that you need to pass. I'm not sure if Dustin wants to be passed. He's not going to stop again. And he knows you're not going to stop again. So I don't think Dustin is just going to give this away. Although if his downforce levels are too high, he might be forced to give it away anyway on the long straight. But it's gonna cost time. Domska is catching Statue, slowly but surely. Statue wants to do Nacho as solid, he just slows down Domska. Pull a little Abu Dhabi Perez 2021. But they're not teammates, I don't know why he would. In fact, they're competing. The teams are in a very fierce competition. It's full P3 in the team standings. His teammate Cavalo is currently in the pits. It will also be his last stop. Some people are deciding that this is a good time to stop and go to the end. 11 more laps. 11 more laps after this lap. So we 12 more laps for Cavalo. Emerges in P9. Decent way behind Michael still. And what is Statue gonna do? Is he gonna pit? Is he gonna keep going? And Dustin has actually not been able to defend at all against Nacho. Nacho already ahead. Oh, he's don't think he's got the tires quite in the window yet. Struggling to keep the car on the road and fully blasting. Domska remains P2. Do currently have a Ferrari and a Sauber on the podium. I think that combination has happened yet. In fact, I think every single podium has been Williams, Ligier, and Benetton. This guy is really putting the laps in here. Try and catch Statue. Now I don't think Statue is on a one stop. I don't think that's possible. I will be very surprised. But never say never. He hasn't stopped yet. And won't do that this lap. He's going another lap. 10 more laps to go. You've got Statue in the lead. Potentially. Secretly on a one-stop. Domska is definitely on a one-stop. He's driving to the end. Nacho has made his second stop. It's currently P3. So seeing a little bit of a battle between perhaps 3 strategies. We'll say Nacho is not really catching. Big disclaimer, however. Nacho is not really catching yet. I'm just going to feel very wide there. I think that's intended. Sometimes it's not intended, but you do want to go wide, just not wide too late. That's the thing. Ooh, Domska on the grass. That's going to cost him a little bit. And every mistake counts now. So he's going to have to try and drive away from Nacho. Keep up the pace, but do not destroy your tires. Is the trick. And he is starting to catch Statue. The last corner was horrific for him, so he's not really catching much there. And that is, I think, PC Finch letting people by. Very good. Statue also is still driving. I think we're looking at a one-stop from Statue. And it's a crazy one-stop because he stopped so early. Okay, with all due respect, is there anything else going on track? There kind of is. The crow is catching. Geralt, I think, is catching. So both Benetons will possibly be in a fight very soon. One defending, one attacking. I think Dustin in particular has had a very challenging race in a mental sense. Been in a car that has had, well, I mean, the car has space, of course. Technically a spec series, so it would be weird if it didn't. But his setup has, I think, harmed him a lot today. He's been unable to fight on the straights. Fighting back in the corners has not really helped. I think we're seeing the dirty air effect, mostly the fact that the top two are fighting, because I think Nacho is starting to catch. I'm not sure if it will be fast enough. If Domska and Statue start fighting, it will be fast enough. Very likely. There it is, and Domska and Statue are just fighting for the lead. I don't think Statue is going to stop. That is my theory. It is very possible that Statue did his first stint, stopped early, but realized the tire wear isn't as bad as anticipated. And it might be good to keep going. Refueled for the rest of the race, and you might be saying then, well, why didn't he extend his first stint? Probably because the fact that he planned for a long stint, a short stint, sorry, means he fueled for a short stint, means he cannot go longer. Well, a Domska fan watching, and honestly, it might be the right time to watch because Domska is getting within the 2 seconds of Statue, getting closer to that 1 second. There is no DRS, of course, but once it gets close enough, we will start getting the full benefit of the slipstream. There is a really, really big risk, and I think if Nacho starts to catch up to these and gets a lap or two, I think Nacho has a very good shot at winning as well. Ooh, I think these two are fighting, and I think they've already done fighting because the Crow is past. Must have been a very nice switchback out of a hairpin or an outside line, it seems, turning into an inside line, and you can see Dustin is not able to fight today. He's got decent pace normally, but once people get close, there's nothing he can do. Domska is nearly within a second of Statue. It's going to start feeling the effects of a dirty air. Which, of course, not just a thing that happens to modern F1 cars. You can see the slide he had to correct there. Gonna have to work the wheel a little bit. See if we can catch another slide so you can really see how they work the wheel. Those was very controlled. Through the last corner, I'm curious, is it stable? He is getting closer. This is within fighting distance. And Statue is gonna keep doing the same thing we saw at the start of the race. Late apex, better exit. He's figured out a line, and Domska's not copying it. There is a real risk, though, of these two fighting, and Nacho is 9 seconds away. It's only 5 laps, though. He's gonna have to catch 2 seconds a lap. That is a lot. That is a lot. But if these two start fighting, anything is possible. Especially if they start touching each other. Domska is keeping it cool. He's waiting for an opportunity. If he is smart, he doesn't... He tries not to go for a long fight. Somebody has made a mistake there. The instinct is immediately to go to someone who's far back, and it is indeed PC Finch. Unfortunately, on the side of the road. Is he going to retire? Somebody else has already retired. It's not HDM. It's not Cavalo. It's Michael. Oh, Michael has retired. I don't see Michael and listen anymore. That means he has retired. I think he still gets a point for P12. But yeah, that is him out of the race. I feel like PC Finch is just parking the car and bagging the points. I think that's the plan. It's like a getaway drive. Statue on lap 38 out of 41. 4 laps to go. Currently ahead of Domska. Oh, and this is going to be a nail biter. Domska has the pace. He has the car. He's got the tires. The tires are better now, mind you. But the one thing he is lacking... Oh, there's more. His lines are not good enough, and he makes a big mistake too late on the brakes. Well, Michael has actually been kicked from the game. That's very unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. Domska has kicked himself into the gravel, and now Nacho is really close by. And Nacho has better tires. And Statue looks to win this race. So currently looking for 10 points for the Sauber team, which is very important in their fight. Damage limitations, honestly, because Michael has indeed been kicked from the game. That is not vote kicked. He wasn't cheating or anything. It's just the game sometimes disconnects people, which is very unfortunate. I see that now PC Finch has also retired. So 10 people left driving, and we're only looking at these two. Nacho looked for something, then went outside maybe. Domska is full defense. Domska recognizes he needs to get the tires back into the window. It will be a bit slippery after the grass and the gravel he's touched earlier. On top of that, Nacho's tires are better. Ooh, and it's close. Nacho was looking on the inside. I didn't think that was possible, but he was right there. But it's not possible to overtake yet. That is simply not a thing right now. Time's running out for Nacho. He's got, I think, 2 more laps to do it. Current lap 40 out of 41. Oh, he's looking though. He's gonna have opportunities here. 2 hairpins. Domska already defensive. Ooh, late on the brakes, both of them. Nacho looking for a switchback is simply not possible. Domska placing his car exactly where it needs to be, but now Nacho is around the outside. He has a right to space. Ooh, and Domska's gonna have to compromise. Nacho is very, very close though. Not quite able to overtake on the last hairpin. This one then, late on the brakes. Oh, it's so close between these two to keep each other alive, and it's honestly a miracle how competitive these guys are, with how close they are, with the conditions that we are currently in. Nacho with simply better tires under his car. If he can get past, he will drive away. It will be P2 for him. He's got to make sure De Croo isn't that far behind. It's like far enough that he's not going to overtake on pace. But if Nacho makes a mistake, he loses the car, he will lose a position, and that will be a massive disaster. He's got a few more opportunities, and it's all going to be in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Around the outside, then he's going to do it late on the brakes. They are side by side through turn 1. Around the outside, is he ahead? I think Nacho is ahead right now. Through the second turn, they are side by side still. Domska is not fast enough. He's trying for another move, but it's over. Nacho takes the position. Nacho is in P2. What a brilliant move from him. Domska is going to have to defend the position from his teammates. The Crow is right there. Trying to update my administration. These two are going to keep fighting for a moment there. We have to appreciate Statue, who's come into the season with a very impressive performance in Interlagos, who has not had great luck this season. Only P6 in the standings, mind you. But today, he's on top. He got pole position, which looked like a very dominant qualifying, always ahead of everyone. And today, he is the best driver in Portugal around the Estoril circuit. Statue is the winner of the Portuguese Grand Prix and the Grand Prix Classics Championship. The Crow has now overtaken Domska. Domska falling way back off the podium. A disaster for our championship leader. It's followed by Dustin. Then comes Randers. Then comes Geralt. With Cavalo, AGM, and Max Manfred. The Jordans, by virtue of surviving this race, do bag a good amount of points. It's 3 plus 4 for them. 7 more points for the Jordan team. They're currently on 17. They'll be very happy, and they've got that P6 virtually in the bag. Very impressive performance for Statue. Very impressive performance from Nacho as well. And I think if we look at the best laps, we've got a fastest lap from, it seems like it was Nacho. Nacho's got a fast lap of 17.3. And I can't see any other laps. There might be someone else that did a faster one. 17.365. Domska also did a very fast lap, but it's slightly slower. So Nacho gets a bonus point for that. Crow rounds off the podium after a very up and down race. He was spun around at some point, but he made his way through several times. Very good race from him. Honestly, just as impressive as Statue and Nacho. Just as impressive. Domska, a little bit of a disaster in the end. It's good. And we're going to show quickly the race results. You see Statue and Nacho. The Crow are the podium. They've got Domska, Dustin, Randers. They've got Geralt. So Geralt actually falling back a lot to the Crow. That will be very unfortunate for him. So the Crow maybe even overtaking. I said earlier he might be overtaken by Dustin, but he's fought hard and he's going to be ahead of Geralt as it seems. Then we've got Cavalo also doing a good job for Ferrari. Ferrari getting a whole 20 points today. Very impressive. We've got HCM and Max Manfred doing good business for the Jordan team. Simtech has 2 points with PC Finch. And Michael in the Sauber bags a point. Got a few more retirements in Silver, JJ, and Ride or Die. Then let's update the standings. Here they are. Domska 69 points. Very nice. But then we got the Crow and Geralt equal on points. The Crow having a better finish, of course, with winning his Imola race. So he is ahead. We've got Geralt and Dustin, now the Benettons, next to each other in 3rd and 4th. Statue, after that performance, jumps up to P5, ahead of Randers, who didn't have the best race today and lost a lot of points to, of course, a win. Nacho and Michael. Nacho jumping Michael after a very strong race. A lot of points. Cavalo in P9 and Silva in P10. The Jordan cars both right behind that. And behind that we have Bo, Rider Die, Nolsey, PC. Finch, of course, scoring 2 points today, putting him ahead of Mario and JJ. I got Hans Topo, last point scorer, and a couple of people who have unfortunately not yet scored any points. And quickly, let's have a look at the team standings. DJ team with 119 points still on top. Benetton not catching up today, 95 points. Ferrari takes that third position from Williams. That drops back all the way to fifth. Sauber also scored a lot of points today. The fight for third is really heating up. Only 7 points between 3 teams. Jordan now 10 points ahead of McLaren. They've done a great job today. McLaren still on 7 points. Manali and Simtek both on 2 points now. Simtek off of that 0 points. Palma team was not driving today, unfortunately. And the Tyrrell team, P11, no points. Now, that is it. I don't think I forgot anything. I did forget something. I forgot to remove this banner. It doesn't matter. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure commentating this again. Of course, remember the next race, the European Grand Prix, is in 2 weeks' time. Same time, same place. Of course, with or without daylight saving time, we're doing Central European times at 7. And yeah, it's been great. And I'm sure the next race will be just as great. Thank you so much for watching. If you have been watching, you've been enjoying it all, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and /or follow on Twitch. Does really help me out. Thank you all so much and have a good day. Good night.